Hey guys, so I am here to do my April wrap-up, and I know this is gonna be really late, but I did film this, but it was over 20 minutes long. I had to refilm it because that was just too long. So this month I read 6 graphic novels and 6 books, so let's get on to the wrap-up. The first thing I read was The Walking Dead Volume 1. What can you say about this? I really enjoyed it and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Volume 2 of The Walking Dead, and of course I enjoyed this one too, and I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 5 too. The next one I read was Smile by Raina Telgemeier, I think that's how you say it, and I enjoyed this graphic novel overall, but it did remind me of when I had braces. So I ended up giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next graphic novel I read was one of my favorites, and it was Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. I really loved this one. If you want to know more about this one, I did a full review on the blog, which you can go check out, and I will link that below. So I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Ghostopolis by Doug TenNapel. Loved this one. This one was probably my favorite graphic novels out of all the graphic novels I read this month. I will show you one of my favorite panels real quick, and it is this one. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see what he's saying, then you will see it in my review. He's saying, love is in the acts, not in the feels. And I just love that panel, and I just love that saying. So if you want to know more about this one, I did a full review on the blog, so I will link that below. But I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. You definitely should go get it. And then I read Bad Island by Doug TenNapel, and this one was good, but it wasn't as good as Ghostopolis. And this one, of course, had beautiful illustrations, again, just like Ghostopolis. One of my favorite illustrations right here. You can see the family and the monsters. So this one was about this family. They go on this family vacation and they get shipwrecked on this island, and it is not your normal island. There are monsters on this island. So I ended up giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was an adult novel, and it was Signs of Life by Anna Reverett. I really enjoyed this. It's about this lady who is trying to recollect her memories of having an affair. She doesn't really remember what happened, and yeah, some crazy stuff is happening in this book. It was more of a thriller suspense novel than it was romance. There were a lot of quotes that I liked in this book, so I will read you one of the quotes that I liked. Losing memories is fitting. Loss follows loss. We build histories with surviving memories, whole civilizations constructed from lost days. So I really liked that one, and there were other ones I really enjoyed too. So I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, which you probably know all about by now. I don't know if it's me or if it's Cassandra Clare. I don't know, but I tend to get really stuck towards the beginning of the book. I did in City of Bones, I did in this one, and I currently am stuck on City of Glass. I've been reading that book for 3 weeks, but this one was definitely better than City of Bones, and a lot more things were going on in this book. But I won't say much about this book since it's the second book in the series, but I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Sky is Everywhere by Jan D. Nelson. If you want to know more about this book, I did a full review on the blog, which I will link down below. You can go check that out, but I ended up giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So this next one was my favorite read of the whole entire month, and it was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Allery Sands. And as you can see, I don't own this book, but I really wish I did. It's about 2 boys, and it's a coming of age kind of story where you see them grow up from the age of 14, I think, up to 18. I don't want to give too much away, but they go through some struggles and some tough times, and it just, the feels, guys. I never say that, but really, the feels. Like, I just finished this book, and then everything just hit me all at once, and I started tearing up. So this one was really good, and I really recommend it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This next book was the disappointment of the month, and it was Invisibility by Andrew Kramer and David Levithan. Speechless, honestly. This is about this guy who has been invisible his whole life. He's cursed, but then when this girl moves into his apartment complex, she is actually the first person to ever see him. So I didn't really enjoy this one. I found out that he wrote from the boy's perspective and Andrew Kramer wrote from the girl's perspective, and I could kind of tell because I really liked David Levithan's point of view, but I didn't really like Andrew Kramer's point of view. And if it wasn't for David Levithan, then I wouldn't have gave this 3 stars. The next one I read was Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I read this one with Kate's book club and a book hobbit, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did, but that part that everyone keeps talking about that messes up the book, I actually liked that part better than the book. And you can find out more about my thoughts in my review because I wrote a full review about this book. It was really difficult because it's really hard to explain without giving spoilers, but if you want to go check that out, I will link that below. And I ended up giving this 4.4 out of 5, and you can find out why in my review. So those were all the books I read in April, and I hope to read more in May. But if you have any thoughts on these books or anything that you would like to say, just comment below and let me know, and I will see you guys later. Bye!